Hello, it's time for another episode of Discipleship Today. My name is Bob Benson. I'm the pastor of Christ Lutheran Church in Bemis Point, New York. We've been using the book of John as a discipleship text, and using John today, I'm going to start in John 13. And here, the heading on my Bible says, Jesus washes the disciples' feet. But I'm going to divide this text in half, and I'm going to stop about verse 12, just because it's a long passage. I'm going to be reading from the ESV, and then I'll go back and make some comments. Chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it in the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God, and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, do you wash my feet? Jesus answered him, What I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand. Peter said to him, You shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I do not wash you, you have no share with me. Simon Peter said to him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Jesus said to him, The one who has bathed does not need to wash except for his feet, but completely clean. And you are clean, but not every one of you, for he knew who was about to betray him. That was why he said, Not all of you are clean. Here we start into this the washing of Jesus' feet. And I know that most of you out there have heard sermons about Jesus washing the disciples' feet and the foreshadowing that's there. I just wanted to touch on a little bit of how John was viewing this whole incident. John saw it as a loving thing that he was doing. Whose responsibility would it have been to wash feet as people entered the house? It would have been the lowest person in the household. And because nobody was willing to take up that task, Jesus then lowers himself to the point, he's the master and the teacher, and he lowers himself to the point where he becomes the servant, the lowest in the room. And that should be something that all of us can grab a hold of. What is it that's not getting done within your fellowship of believers that needs done to have people feel like they've been completely accepted? Sometimes it's just a word of encouragement. Sometimes it is physically doing something for those people. And Jesus is a pattern for us. We're supposed to look at him and live like he did. He is the ultimate pattern. And my question for you and your disciples, as you live your life out, what is it that you're doing that nobody else will do, that has been laid aside because people are too proud, too arrogant, just not seeing those things? And I think sometimes our vision gets clouded and we can't see the things that people need done for them. My encouragement for you is to pick up that mantle and do those things. And as you do them, there will be this fulfilling, if Jesus has called you to do what nobody else will do. And as a discipler and as a disciple, I have to remind myself on a regular basis that I need to do those things. So for Discipleship Today, my name is Bob Benson, and we just thank you for taking your time to watch.